What's going on, everyone? Grunge Gaming back here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to get into easier lobbies in Apex Legends Season 12. Like I'll always say, the Apex Legends skill-based matchmaking system is always against your odds of getting a good, fair match with opponents that actually meet your skill level. This method lets you get a fair match. This is a brand new break your server glitch. Basically what ends up happening is you end up overloading your game, so it kind of doesn't know what to do, so it just sticks you in to a random match. Again, these lobbies can be quite interesting to be in. These lobbies usually always have a couple bugs and random glitches happening in them, but I will get to that in a second. This method does have a lot of working pieces to it. At the end of the day, it is pretty simple once you memorize it. I'll go over everything in depth and definitely go slowly over the steps, but without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first step is changing your server to a server that isn't your own. For instance, I usually auto connect to the Oregon cluster servers, so for me I might change my server to an Iowa server. It really doesn't matter in this instance. All you need to do is change to a different server, and this can be done by going to the home screen and changing it. Next, what you'll need to do is start a match. This can be on trios or duos. Just make sure fill is on. You can do no fill, but if you do no fill, you have a higher risk of the game giving you an error code when trying to complete future steps. Now, this is the part where gaming systems and then PCs kind of go their separate ways. PC players can still do this. If you are on PC, you'll have to just replicate this on PC differently than how you would on a console. So once you set your server to another server that you normally don't auto connect to, then proceed into the game as you usually would. Select trios or duos. Again, no fill is an option, but I highly recommend having fill on. From here, you can start trios or duos, let it matchmake, and while you are doing this, definitely make sure to check to make sure you are still on the server that you selected. Sometimes it auto corrects you back to the server that you're normally supposed to be on. Definitely make sure it's changed just so you know you're doing it right. Once the match connects and the screen goes black, head out of Apex Legends and close the application. Once you close Apex Legends, immediately reopen it, but before the game intro starts, make sure to leave back to your home screen, the dashboard, whatever you want to call it, and then immediately open another app to suspend Apex Legends. Usually I use Spotify because it's just an app and it works great for this. It will say suspending Apex Legends. As soon as the suspending screen leaves and it cuts right to the app intro, definitely make sure to leave. Apex Legends has been suspended. Once this happens, go back to Apex Legends, and if you've done it right, the game's entire 8-second intro will go by in about 1 second. It's gonna look super weird and sound super weird as well, but you did it right. From here, you're gonna need to proceed back into the game. Once you get to the screen where you need to hit continue, make sure to look down at your server name. This server should be the server that the game always auto connects you to. So when you get to this point, it may be on the server that you chose that wasn't the server that you usually play on, or could be some other random server as well. Just know that this is when the game starts to glitch out a little. Now, don't spend too long checking your server and then immediately continue into the game. If you spend too long, or if you no fill, it might say code phased, as in it took too long for you to reopen the game from when you disconnected. Once you enter back into the game, you should be on a loading screen for a little while. This is normal. Eventually, you should spawn in the game. Sometimes you will spawn on the ground, other times you will spawn while you are still dropping. It all kind of depends. And sometimes you will just spawn randomly alone. There won't be any teammate, you're just gonna spawn in randomly in a random place on the map. It's super weird how this works. Another weird bug that happens is you'll spawn without your starting shield or supplies, and that's just some of the weird things that happen when you glitch out your game like this. When you start playing the game and go up against other opponents in the match, you should notice that the game becomes a little more fair and you actually have a chance. This is because, of course, the game got bugged down and it just shoved you into a random match. There are always other players doing this as well, and after a while, usually these lobbies become full of tryhard players. This method is one of the more complex methods. I will be leaving a link to a video with simpler methods down below. Definitely make sure to subscribe so you can start using these methods before everyone else does. Thank you all so much for watching. A big thank you to my subscribers and channel members. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all around later. Bye guys.